Standing on the top now. No, nothing can move you.
Well, I am back, and I am back with a talk. Let me talk to you, as L.A. Knight would say. Let me talk to you. Yeah. I want to talk to you about my main mission. One of my main missions in life. Let me get myself. I want you to look at me eyeball to eyeball. So give me a moment. Eyeball to eyeball. I want you to look at me. I don't know what's going on here, but let me see where I'm at. All right, so let me look at you eyeball to eyeball. Because I've been through some changes in my life. I've made more priorities in my life. And understand your priority is not going to be my priority. You can talk, you can say what you want to try to influence me, that's fine. But if it interferes with my laser target or where I think I need to go and where my people need to go and where I think this nation should go, I'm going to cut you like a cancer. All right? Now, while I was going over my issues with Africa, and African politics is starting to intrigue me now. And it's high time that the African nation begin to stand up against the colonizers. And colonizers including America. And how Africa is really financially the most powerful continent in the United States. And if they all can get on code, it can become the most powerful force in the world today. And colonizers or Western countries don't want that to happen. So they demonize. Now, this is not about Africa. I get into that tomorrow. But you got people who want to demonize you because for too long, the United States had a priority with Africa, and that's to get stuff out of Africa, to steal from Africa, and to use their money and their power to dominate or try to push back Africa or try to oppress Africa or even depress Africa. Only using them for their own self-preservation. And the African people saying enough. Now this brings me up to this point. Let me go over here. And I'm going to bring up this. Matter of fact, let me take myself off here and widen this up so you can see it very, very clearly. Let me bring this all the way out so you can hear me and see me and feel me. Let me do as much as I can to get this up here so you can hear me. All right. Now, this is from earlier today. Let me see if I can get up to let's see if I can get even further into this. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. Bear with me. I want to get up here close as I can get it. All right, here we go. I got one comment today from a gentleman by the name of Jason Dovox, as you can see it. And I mentioned that I don't care who you are running for president. If you don't have a black agenda, and if you're not pushing the black agenda, just like you push LGBT, just like you push Medicare for all, just like you push health care for all, just like you push no cost education, homeless, solving homelessness. And I ain't got no problem with that. And I think you should take care of that, but not at the expense of what you owe black people in this country. The government owes Native Black Americans reparations. They owe foundational Black Americans. They owe freedmen reparations. You got rich off free labor, and you owe. And I don't care if it was my ancestors. And there are all these freaking talking points that can be debunked so easy. I don't even waste my time debunking your talking points. And here's one right here. I don't waste my time trying to debunk these talking points because it's a misnomer. I don't care what you got to say concerning the situation. It's a non-starter with me. It's not up for discussion. It's not up for a debate. This government knows it's old black people money. And this government will continue, as one man said at a reparations meeting, which we didn't really need him to say that at that meeting because everybody knows this country has a curse on it. It will never be great again. It will never be the leader in the forefront. Matter of fact, everybody is turning their backs toward America because of the way they promote democracy. How are you going to have a democracy when you if you use your own, you got free labor off Africans or Native Americans in the United States? What make you think you're going to do right by us here in Africa? We've learned our lesson based on what you do with black people there. We don't trust you on what you're going to do with majority of black people in Africa. So Jason DeVoe said, I'm afraid reparations would never happen. Well, homie, I ain't asked you. Now, if you ain't black, you ain't got nothing to say. And why are you afraid? I'm afraid it will never happen. Who told you it would never happen? You sound just like those old white bigot, white supremacist people all the time. I don't think civil rights going to happen over my dead body. That'll be the day when black people have equal rights with white people. Who? Get out of here. Equal rights with me? No. I'm the entitled one in this country. This country belongs to us, not them. I'm afraid that will never happen, civil rights. So here we got this negative Nancy saying I'm afraid of reparations will never happen. Fool, I don't care. Just be afraid. We don't need your negative energy. And I'm only saying this because this is the last time I say it, because I know more people going to come up here with these talking points to discourage black Americans that this may never happen. The numbers and the tables are turning. This is going to happen, Doc. It's going to happen by hook or crook. If you want any kind of power in America, you better get behind us. You want free health care? You better get behind reparations. You want a no-cost education? You better get behind reparations. Because you ain't going to get it from the black community until we get what we want. Don't let that be your only measuring stick, dude. That's the only measuring stick for now. You're going to tell us don't let it be your only measuring stick? I choose to make it my measuring stick. And more black Americans need to choose to make it for measuring stick. Because we choose to pick up, we choose to allow other people to dictate to us what our measuring stick should be, like this fool. He's trying to tell me not to make that my only measuring stick. Who in the blue hell are you to tell me what to make a measuring stick or not? You worry about your own measuring stick. You don't dictate to me, and this is what I'm talking about. White America trying to dictate to black America how to do something and the way they should do something. Like we can't make our own decisions. That's why I'm not, everybody talking about FDR and FDR and Marion Williamson and Kyle Kalinske and all these people talking, and all these progressives, Bernie Sanders and all that, FDR don't mean crap to me. FDR had the same mindset when it came to helping black people. We out here getting lynched. We out here getting burned to the stake. We out here getting murdered. Some of us I mean, even people I know personally down my lineage, tied on one foot, tied on the neck, and got split in half just for being black and in the wrong area. And that wasn't 100 years ago. And FDR going to sit there and say, well, I need to work on this New Deal. And that's what Martin Luther King talked about in the Birmingham letters. Look, I mean, my number one blocker is not the Ku Klux Klans, because we know how to deal with them. It's not racist bigots. It's the ones that's on the left, the one who claims to be progressives, the one who claim to be liberal, the one who say we all in this together. Don't let that be your only measuring stick. Dude, I would take this measuring stick and stick. If you get in the way of my agenda and what we want from America at this moment, it's going to be a problem between me and you. Don't let that be your only measuring stick. It is. And it's going to be. I'm going to be as purist as this I can be when it comes to this issue. You don't have a black agenda. You don't push reparation to the tune of $70 trillion, because that's what this government owes. Don't come telling me, well, we have to go by what 40 acres and a mule is. That 40 acres and a mule is just one payment that's supposed to go to us. That was for us to start a business. That was for us to start owning our own land and tilling our own land. We're talking about the things that you took from us since then. Marianne Williamson. Don't let that be your measuring stick, because then everyone will fail. See, worrying about everyone. I don't care if you think you're going to fail because we're pushing reparation and we making that a number one issue, putting that in the forefront and say reparation or bust. If you feel you're going to fail, you fail already. And what I care about that? I don't care if you fail. We've been failing for all these years. And we've been falling for this trick bag all these years. We got to think about the whole collective. Well, the whole collective ain't been thinking about us, and the people in the collective are thinking about themselves outside of the collectives. You got the LGBTQI and all that aggressively pushing their agenda. So why we can't aggressively push our agenda? And I'm telling every black person from the LGBTQI, you need to be on this side of the spectrum. I know you're part of that community, but you were born in this community. Oh, I was born in that community. I'm telling you right now, your skin gonna come before anything. And I hate to say that, but in this godforsaken country, the land of the free, the home of the brave, at the end of the day, your skin color is gonna matter. These souped up cops out here kill a black trans or a black a gay person, a black queer person, or a black bisexual. They'll kill you just as quick as they kill anybody else because you're black. These robot dogs that they got out here in New York ain't gonna be trying to see how queer you are. They see that black color, they gonna, I mean, it's a whole different deal now. We have to aggressively push our agenda just to consider ourselves a protective class, because everybody else pushed their agenda and became a protective class. Look at what the Asians did. Man, go in there and shoot up a bunch of Asian, and in 3 days, not 3 years, 3 days, they come up and black people participated in that, helped vote for that. But when it comes time to us, for us, you're nowhere near to be found. Because everyone will fail except only as lip service. Man, you don't shut your mouth with that mess. The Native American never got. Bruh, do you understand any kind of history? The Native American never got a thing. Black Native Americans never got a thing. If a Native American didn't get a thing, it's because white America pretended to be Native Americans to get all the stuff that the country decided to give Native Americans. Man, the country gave land grants the whole 9 yards. That's where we get the $5 Indian from. What do you mean Native American never got a thing? Native American got reparation. They got land. They got ability to build business on their land. They even got their own provinces. They even got their own communities where you can literally be almost a president of your own tribe in particular parts of America. Black people ain't got that. Native Americans get to build all kind of casinos and everything and a profit off that. And they build their casinos around prestigious military bases and things like that, and where they can, even get more of an advantage. Get out of here with this mess. Some Native Americans don't have to pay for college. How you think Elizabeth Warren, with her $5 Indian behind, how she got to go to school? Claiming to be Native American and all the perks that come with that. So get out of here with that mess, man. The Native Americans never got a thing and never will the black community. The black community have gotten some things because of our aggressiveness and pushing the black agenda back in the 60s. Well, it's time for us to take that up, Mr. White Supremacist. This white supremacist, I don't care if he's black. I don't care if he's not white. You got a white supremacist mindset. We need to focus on, who is we, dude? Don't come around here speaking no French. We need to focus on the issues that affect everyone, such as health. No, we've been doing that for 40 years. And we end up getting the worst end of the stick. We need to focus on it. Take me out of your we category because I'm not a part of you. No, black people, you need to separate yourself for a moment and focus on your own issues first. I'm not saying that these issues don't matter. I'm not saying, as he said, that affect everyone, such as healthcare, education, job, economic. That's going to always be there. But your number one focus is getting healthcare made available to you as a block, as a community block, in education and jobs and economic justice. Because most of white America has no problem when it comes to those things. Because all those things work out more in their favor than it does with black people. We need to worry about healthcare, education, job, economic justice, and the end of war. Dang that. We'll worry about that after you take care of what you owe. The reason you got a problem with healthcare, the reason you got a problem with education, the reason you got a problem with jobs, the reason you got a problem with economic justice, and the reason you got a problem with war is because we got these nut-wing leaders out there that refuse to do right by the people who they robbed for over 400 years. We fought in your wars. We came up with healthcare creations and inventions and cures, black people. We have become educators now. They done pushed us out of the education system. They've taken the jobs away from black people and sent them overseas. And economic justice, man, you better shut your mouth talking about economic justice. This whole thing we're talking about is economic justice. And the corporate control of our media, elections, and government, those are things everyone can get on board for. So those are things that the people have the power to change. So let me get myself back up here and deal with you one-on-one, bro. Those things you're worried about. The foundational black American man and woman and anything in between, if you choose to be that way, are trying to survive. We're in survival mode. You're not. The reason you don't have what you want is because your government has leaned over to corporatism and kissing the behind of the donor class and really doing whatever they can to serve them than you. You can get those things. All you have to do is be aggressive when it come to pushing on these politicians. Well, we need you to help you do that. Then I'll tell you what. Let's make a trade. You get behind us for a change when it comes to reparations. And then after we get our reparations, which you don't want us to have, then we'll help you get that. For you to ask us going forward to participate in a no-cost education, no-cost healthcare, and all these things before paying black people what you owe them, that's you telling us to allow you to take from us. This government owes us that. And they need to pay up. For you to tell us, no, you chill, don't worry about that. Let them pay us first, all of us first. And then we'll think about, let's say the government decide to give you free healthcare, free all these things. We're still back at square one with black people. You're trying to tell us everything need to be even playing field. Yeah, after you take care of us. You owe us. How are we going to tilt the scales of justice when this government, you come into this government on a level that's higher than what black people were? And oftentimes, white America will consider you equal level. They will never consider that when it comes to black people. And they can't because they know they owe. That's why they try to hide history away from the American public, including you. You don't know the half of what this country has done for us, Mr. White Progressive, Mr. Asian Progressive, Mr. Black Progressive. You know, you just trying to find excuses to shy away from it, but you know. Let me take my glasses off for a second because I'm not going over no video or nothing like that. I take this more serious than anything. If anything black people need to live and die for, it's economic equality between blacks and whites. Anybody else talking about economic equality and economic justice, get out of here with that stuff. Worry about that after we take care of that. And I know I got a lot of my black brothers and sisters that's on that tip. Bro, you can be on that tip. I'm not on it. And I'm not going to be on it. This country owes, and it's time this country pay up. This country cannot go forward and consider themselves a democracy, going to other countries claiming democracy, and we want to teach you about democracy when you still undermining the people that helped you build this country from day one. Day one. When your butt got here, there were black people here. And the moment you turned your back on the black people here, because there were more dark-skinned Indians than there were red or brown Indians. Those Indians came from the West. Most Indians here were dark skinned. And oftentimes they was trapped in slavery and made slaves. And oftentimes other Indians sold them into slavery. Just like some Africans sold us into slavery because of the greed and money and things like that. And don't worry, we going after those who been a part of this worldwide, baby. But we starting with the United States first, with black America. If you're from a country that you were impressed and they got, and France or whatever country got rich off your free labor, you need to go after them. But if you're in this country, you need to rally around Native Black Americans, because you benefit off of what Native Black Americans provided for you. They set the table. We set the table for you to come here and eat, including white America, including the Irish, including the Polish people. None of you guys would have been here if we didn't made America the place to be. The American dreams built on the nightmare of black people, ripping our children away from us, ripping our wife away from us, forcing our relatives to forcing us to mate with each other to produce more slaves. Oftentimes, your people raping us. The men raping the women are raping, taking advantage of the men under the cover. Don't want the master to know about it because both of them get killed. And oftentimes when they get caught saying the slave was the aggressor when that woman was just as aggressive as anybody else. Oh, that happened. Oftentimes, the male slave owner going after the young man and the boy, because he feels that's his property. He can do whatever he wants to do. You don't think you owe us? You think we need to put all that stuff to the side? Well, you did it all this long? No, we didn't. We've been pushing. And now we got some traction. And we're going to continue to get some traction because folks like me is going to be out here talking about it. Keep your hand out my pocket, bruh. Coming out here spitting this white progressive talking point, this white liberal bigoted talking point. And I don't know what color you are, but I'm letting you know you're spitting white progressive, white lefty talking points. FDR spit that mess and denied black people the freedom that they needed. As a result of it, more black people got killed because of his decision. More black people got hung. More black people got murdered because of his unwillingness to focus on a black agenda before he focused on the New Deal. He could at least fit it in the New Deal. He chose not to do that. And now you telling me that we need to go back to the FDR, focus on the New Deal for all, and forget about you again. We're tired of waiting. We're tired of being pushed to the side. And you need to step yourself to the side or you're going to get stepped on. You get in the way, we're going to run you over. So just shut up and move out the way. Either you're going to join us or we're going to run you over. Man, I'm so serious about this thing. When it comes to this, I'm not playing. And when I talk about these candidates, I may talk about the things that they don't do, and you may think, oh, he's focused on progressive. I'm not focused on progressivism. I'm not even a fan of progressivism. I'm not even a fan of conservative. I'm a regular guy. I can be progressive one minute, I can be conservative one minute. I'm not a one-shot stop person, except when it comes to an agenda. And you can't get something done with all these agendas. I'm not trying to push a progressive agenda no more. I did that with the Bernie Sanders movement, and look how far that went with him. Now, I'm not saying you don't deserve a livable wage, and but not at the expense of black people. You wonder why black people didn't really get on the side of Bernie Sanders, because he pushed them in the face, saying, I don't need to worry about your issues. I need to worry about all people's issues. And the number one voting black in America denied him the ability to win that election against Hillary Clinton. He should have won by a landslide. And the same thing is going to happen with Marianne Williamson. When you lowball black people about reparations, because she believes it and she wants to push it, but she lowballing it. This has been part of a mission as a speaker. When you go to her miracles, she talks about that. And she have people pray for each other for reparations. That ain't going to stop you. You're still old. You're still old. You can come to me and say, please forgive me, and I'll forgive you, but that don't mean I'm forgiving that debt. You need to pay your debt. The Bible says, owe no man but to love them. In other words, you can't claim to love black America if you haven't paid them what you owe them. And a man who don't take care of his own is worse than the infidel. The reason the United States is in the infidel state because he's not even taking care of his own citizen. And foundational black Americans, freedmen, American descendants of slaves, the descendants of American slavery, whichever one you want to call us, Native black Americans, are your children. And you're not taking care of them. And this has put this country in an infidel state to the point that people around the world has lost their taste for American democracy, for the American dollar, and everything. And you want to try to paint those people as an enemy when you need to paint yourself as an enemy because you've been undermining people for decades. I say for over 100 years plus. People, you come on this channel, understand this. I see a post like this, I'm going to delete it because I'm not going to allow you to get my people off focus. I'm not going to keep challenging. This one video is to go out to everybody with a mindset like that. You talking like that make you an enemy of black people. You talking like that make you anti-black. I wouldn't call you enemy of black people because we love people regardless, but I'm calling you anti-black. Because one of the main focus points to make blacks comfortable, to make blacks be able to live in peace, to make put blacks on in a position where they can begin to have some kind of power in this country, because it should have been, look, we could have did just like any other country in the Caribbean. And we did some revolts. But the landmass for America makes it hard for us to have a revolt like an island. Because on the island, you ain't got nowhere to go. Once you close the ports, that's it. Here, we're a wide landmass. That's why it was kind of hard to really overthrow the American government, but we sure tried. We got tired of this mess. But we knew where there's a will, there's a way. And we figured it out, and we're still pushing. Martin Luther King said, look, all this stuff, these people, you know, the segregation, I pushed it, we got it, and it's still not enough for my people. Segregation wasn't it. Segregation wasn't it alone. And trying to push the boost the working class is not alone it. So he began to talk about how the American government began to undermine black people. Talked about the land grants and the money grab and things like that. And he said, for this time, we're coming to get the check. When he said coming to get the check, it was not for the working class. He was doing a whole new campaign with Kwame Ture, with Stokely Carmichael in charge of SNCC. He got rid of John Lewis and put Stokely Carmichael in there, and he started to get a little more radical. I wouldn't say a little more lefty, but he got a little more socialist in his views, especially when it comes to equal rights for black people. He was equal rights for all, but he focused on equal rights for black people, and that became his main focus, and we still believe that's one of the reasons why they decided to kill him. Because now he's getting over to the black power side, and he's making demands, and he's making financial demands now. And we can't give these Negroes equal quality, because if we give them equal in wealth, they may overtake us. Nobody's trying to overtake you, dude. You're messing up this country on its own. If anybody, we can save it, but you're messing up this country on your own. And this is first step. The signs of how far this country is going to go in the future of being a beacon of hope relies on you taking care of this one issue. And let me look into whoever said this, and anybody else got that mindset. The reason the world look at the United States negatively, the reason they're rejecting American democracy, is because America don't practice democracy at home. You can't even get the gun issue right. You can't even get the qualified immunity with cops and putting cops in jail right. Now you got robot dogs that's going around that's going to be probably shooting people soon. We got Megan walking around New York now. The most important issue in America, I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're Asian, I don't care. The most important issue in America is to get this stench off of America. And one of the stenches is the unequal justice financially between black Americans, Native blacks, and foundational whites. All the wealth went to you, none went to us. And when we did create our own boots and put straps on it and begin to put them on, you took that. And all you did was take. And we had no choice but to stand up. And once we got what we want, we kind of settled down. And all we wanted was just some peace. And we couldn't even get that. You still taking. And we got people like this fool who still wants to take. He wants to take our money that this government owe us and tell us, don't give it to the blacks. We don't think they should get, we don't think they're going to ever get it anyway. So all that money that you got that you would normally, that you owe black people, put it over here in healthcare. Put it over here, put it somewhere where we can get the homeless off the streets. Put it over here where we can make sure healthcare is for everybody. Put it over here. They're selfish. They're selfish. Selfish is say, forget about us owing you. We need that money over here. That is selfish. How could you sit there and say, look, we know what we owe you. We know we owe you. But give me a $10,000 loan anyway. Man, pay the loan you. What kind of fool would I look like giving you a $10,000 loan and you couldn't even pay the $1,000 loan? What kind of idiot would loan you money? You got a debt that need to be paid. You don't get $10,000 until you pay the $1,000. When you get the $1,000, then we can start focusing on the $10,000. The nerves of you, the nerves of any of you who think black people need to step to the side. We've been stepping to the side for too doggone long. It's time for us to step up, and if need be, step up front. Reparations are now. Reparation or bust. You don't get none of that stuff until we get what we owed first. I'm not going to allow you to sit there and rob us because you feel your needs are more important than equality for black people against native blacks and native whites. Foundational black and foundational whites. Like I said, I have no problem with none of those things, but those things are not a priority. You tend to think they're a priority because you're not owed anything. Your lineage having gone through hell and high water. Your lineage having built this country to the point that your particular lineage decided to come here looking for the American dream. Started off, came to America with $5 in a dream. What's your problem? My problem is you got to come to America with $5 in the dream and prosper, and we've been here and we done had money and they took that. Every time we tried to prosper, they took that. That's why they try so hard to keep guns out of our hands. Because they're afraid we're going to revolt. And we don't need to do that. All we need to do is continue to move forward, black people. And if you're immigrant black, all I can tell you, look, your country had a problem with colonizers. And they robbed you too. They built sugarcane plantations. They built cotton plantation, all kinds of stuff on your island. You tilled that and they got freaking rich. And the wealth that they got, they took it back to France, they took it back to England, and they left you with an independent country with no freaking wealth. And I'd be dang, that's going to happen here. And they still trying to go to these wealthy countries, trying to befriend them, also they can extract something from them, giving them the worst end and they're keeping the better cut. It's like a drug dealer, man. I'm sitting out here putting myself at risk trying to sell these drugs, bro. Look, why you get 80% of what I sold and I only get 20% and I put myself at risk, bro? At least you go half and half. That talking point, what just you saw, is a white, racist, liberal talking point. It's a white supremacist talking point. We need to think about everybody else. Forget you. Forget it. Get it out your mind. It'll never happen. It didn't happen with the Native Indian. Obviously, this guy have no inclination on history and don't know what happened between the United States and Native Americans. Especially when they introduce a brand new category for Native Americans so they can get their land back plus benefits. But they allowed it where all you have to do is become a white, be declared a Native American, knowing you're white, and you can get these benefits. So miss me with this, the Native American didn't get none. Man, boy, if you don't sit your behind down with that lie, man, lying that crack of your behind. They got something. The Germans got something. Japanese got something. Even white America got something. Because they were slaveless. They got something. Guess who didn't get anything? The people who built this country. And don't come on all this name John Leguizamo talking about we built our Latinos built this country. Latinos didn't come into this program till later on. South Americans, which a lot of them was black, dark skinned, you can't claim that as Latino. They got colonized. And that made them Latino. The Latin people from Spain and all that colonized those areas. And that's how they began. Just because you speak Latino don't mean you're Latin. More likely, you're probably Native American or Native South American, or or you're from Africa and you came through slavery, and you mixed with the culture, and your skin started getting lighter, started getting browner. But they did you the same way. The colonizers did the same thing in Colombia, the same thing in Brazil. Matter of fact, most of the black people from Africa end up in Brazil, not the United States. Brazil has the largest black population outside of Africa. It's not in the islands. It's in Brazil. And look how they treat the black Brazilians. Look how they treat the black Venezuelan. Look how they treat the black Colombians. The white, so-called white Latinos, I call them white Spanish descendants, people who came from the descendants of Columbus and all that, claim to be Spanish. Something is going on. My alarm is going on. 2:45. It's late. I had to deal with this situation because you out your doggone mind coming on my channel talking that bull crap. Bro, if you don't take yourself somewhere, I'm dealing with this. I want you to, I'm going to say, understand this. I'm entitled this, understand this. When it comes to black America, your number one priority is reparations. You get your reparations, you can get education, you can get good health care, you can get it all because white America gets that, because those who are in a certain bracket in white America, they don't have to worry about none of that stuff. They have the money for a decent, even some scholarly education for their children. They have money for this. They have money. All it takes is money. That's why reparations have to be money first with cash payment, but reparation is so broad. The black agenda reparation isn't just a normal reparations. Our reparation means you need to repair in a whole bunch of areas, including the police department, the police force, and how they deal with black people, including that, including on the corporate side, when it comes to businesses and things like that, including that, because you were all funny style when it came to dealing with black people in corporate America to this very day. I'm done. Again, black people, I don't care what nobody say. I don't care how they try to sow doubts in your mind and say bull crap like I don't think this is going to happen. Dude, we ain't asked you to think. We're not concerned about what you think. Take your stinking thinking somewhere else. We don't care. We know we can get reparations. We know how to get reparations. And we're going to continue to press forward and put the pressure until we get reparations. And one of the things concerning reparations is you're not going to get nothing. You're not going to get our energy, our backing, our support for anything until you get in back and support for us. Now, honestly, we don't need your support. We certain things we got on our own because you lack supporting us in these efforts. But you could not get what you want until we supported you. And we've been supporting you for so freaking long, and you've gotten what you want because of our support so long. And a lot of people are coming into this country all willy-nilly and getting all these things because of what we did for so long. Yet we don't get it. Black homeless man gets to go into a homeless shelter while a Costa Rican or a Honduras or a Mexican come into this country and they get to be put into this hotel, elaborate hotel, and get fed good food up to a certain point. But the native black American who got priced out of his home, he can't go into there. Always to the side. Everybody else to the forefront but black people. And that stops. That stops. And a great marker right now of black excellence and black success and black achievement is pushing this and 10 toes down concerning this, willing to die by the sword concerning this. You owe. You will pay. And we ain't going to let no other agenda get in the way of that agenda. No disrespect for that agenda. I like that agenda. But that ain't going to come at the expense of this agenda. The black agenda and reparation with cash payment plus is the number one issue concerning black people. And if you want this stitch to come off this country and prove that this country really, really is about democracy, you'll right that wrong first and then go on to this other stuff. But this has to be done first. This is in the forefront of everybody around the world. Are you going to do right by black people? Because you're not doing right by black people will judge how you're going to deal business worldwide. Can't take care of that issue? We ain't got no problem. We don't want to deal with you. We'll rather deal with Russia. We'll rather deal with BRICS. Which reminds me, and I'm going to talk about this on the show, Africa don't need nothing from nobody. They don't need the debt. Africa can pay his debt. Well, Africa owes a debt to Germany. Africa don't owe no debt to nobody. If anything, everybody owes Africa because they've been leeching off of and robbing Africa for so many hundreds of years. Africa been allowing you to get most of the profits of the diamond, the gold, the oil and everything, and they got little profits. And how you going to sit there and say they owe? And the United States coming down to Africa talking about, oh, we going to help you get out of debt. And Russia saying we going to eliminate your debt because Russia so-called eliminate the debt for Africa. You ain't do Africa no favor, Russia. You didn't. If all these countries give Africa the value of what their resources really are, they will be the powerhouse financially. Not Dubai, not the United States, not Japan, not Saudi Arabia, but Africa in general. But everybody want to rip off the African people and give them the worst end of the deal. That's why America, you talking about going on and repair a relationship with Africa. Africa see you. They know you. And thanks to the internet and thanks to being uncompromised with teaching true American history, regardless of people coming up with these woke passages and laws and stuff like that, you continue to pray for. I don't care if they make it illegal. You still teach your kids that. Some things are worth dying for. Ain't no way in hell I'm going to continue to let America lie to my child and put all crazy kind of thoughts in my child. If I have to homeschool them, if I have to go in the cave and retreat and go into hiding to teach my kids what America actually did to black Americans, I'm teaching it. And if you better hope I don't get close to your child because I'm going to teach them too. Well, it's going to cause my child to hate. No. It's history. Nobody say you like that now. But then again, maybe you are. Maybe you are. Maybe just not as vicious. Like this guy. Like this guy who posted this. Pushing white supremacist talking points and trying to say, forget about you and your agenda. That's impossible. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Blah, 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 blah. So let's focus on something that can happen. Well, how about me saying that? No cost education not going to ever happen. No cost health care. Other countries are doing it, but it's not going to ever happen in this country that lives and dies by the dollar to the big pharma. Now, we all know these things can happen, but you're going to need the power of the black vote behind it. And how are you going to want to get something from black people when you're not willing to give to black people? Black people have been given, and given to aid and assist progressives centrist Democrats, lefty, and even some Republican. Black America been doing all this stuff, but none of them have paid back in return. Reparations is owed, and reparations will be paid. I don't care what kind of mindset you got in your head, we don't give a crap. Just don't come around us with that bull crap. Because we know how to deal with doubters or plants that are there to sow discord and doubt. We know how to deal with you. If you ain't on code about this, stay the heck away from us. Stay off this site, stay off other sites like that, because we're going to get in your behind and chew you out. We don't care about what you think. Either you're going to get out of our way or you're going to join us. If you're not going to join us and be positive and help push us, get out of our stinking way. And if you get in our way, you're going to get ran over, because we're not going to tolerate this stuff. We're not going to tolerate it. Ye who are part of progressive land, ye who are part of centrist land, ye who maybe not a Democrat, but you have socialist views and you're socialists and and you want all these things. And like I said, I got no problems with those things. I would like to see America have those things after we get our reparation. This is first and foremost the most important. This is a life issue for black people, and white people just don't get it. And that's okay. You ain't got to get it. It's not up to you to have the urgency. That's our urgency. We get it. And those who don't get it, they will. Because we're going to keep those people away from you who put blinders on trying to put blinders on people's eyes, only let them see we the people, or you only want us to see all rising tides lift all boats and stuff like that. We're not going to allow you to let that stuff. That stuff is poisonous to our people at this moment. The way we can lift up your boat is pay the debt of reparations. The way to deal with the homeless crisis, the way to deal with healthcare and make it free for all, no cost for all, education, no cost for all, take care of this first. Because you'll never get no traction as long as you owe people. And there's principles, universal principles, spiritual principles, godly principles. He who don't take care of his own is worse than an infidel. And owe no man but to love him. If you're not paying your debts, you open up curses to come upon you. If you ignore your family, you're cursing people. A curse is going to come upon you. Stop asking for black people to back something up that's going to take money out of black people's pocket that's owed to black people. That money is owed to black people. For you demanding for money to take care of all these progressive issues make you a thief. You want to take our money to go to these programs. Shame on you. It's not your money. That's our money. Getting sick and tired of our money going to Ukraine. Not your money. You may be the taxpayers and you pay taxes, but that money's still owed to black people. And now they got money. They don't have to take it from you, but let's say they do. You benefit off of what we built. You're benefiting off it. You got a job, probably got a decent home, probably got a decent car. People in Ireland was messed up, man. You couldn't prosper in Ireland at one time. You couldn't prosper in a whole lot of these countries. A lot of these people left these European countries to come to America because of the prosperity that America was producing, and they wanted to be a part of that prosperity. But guess who built that prosperity and got nothing for it? And then you going to sit up here and say, it's not going to ever happen. Dude, we going to make it happen. We going to make it happen. And we don't need no negative Nancy's like your butt around us And if I see you, I'm getting ready to delete this crap up here. You will get blocked. You come up here talking that trash, you're going to get blocked. If you're on a live chat and my mod see you talking this trash, you're going to get blocked. Because what you're doing is blocking. You're trying to block a movement that's getting stuff done. We're getting there. Right now, all you hear is reparation. They got reparation commissions, and some of the commission even putting a price tag and looking for ways to pay from the local level, state level. So you definitely know it's going to go to the national level. And don't fool yourself. Native Americans got what they got reparation, but they are not owed like we owed. Yes, certain areas of the United States were part of Native American territory. Yes. But a lot of this land was open. All right, let me get off this thing. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. And a lot of this land was open. Black people took up black people. Black Native Americans were already here doing business with Africans. Don't let them tell you that there was no trading going on between Africa and what they used to call Turtle Island before we call it America. We named America, it used to be Turtle Island. And there was a huge, massive land difference before what they called a Great Flood took place. Do your history. A Great Flood separated the United States, North America from Africa. There was an area, it was quicker to get from Africa to the United States because of land. It was able to travel a certain part into the land where now the ocean covers, but it used to be land before the Great Flood. But that's another story. You got to go look that up yourself. I'm done, bro. You come on this channel talking that bull crap, I'm going to have to smack you down. I'm not going to do it physically, but I'll have to smack you down up here. I'm going to delete you. And occasionally I'm going to have to come up here and remind you. Let me say it one more time for your eyes and ears. When it comes to this election, when it comes to getting progressive policies passed, is reparation or bust first. Reparations or bust. You ain't getting that stuff until we get our stuff. And that's all I got to say about that.